So I guess we'll get started now. Um, so hello everybody, I'm glad you were able to find it. Recognize some of you from last meeting, but looks like we have a few new faces too, so might as well just go around and introduce ourselves one more time in case. So for the new people, um, I'll start. My name is Tim Carlton. I'm the president of the Astronomy Club, and I'm a senior majoring in astronomy and physics.
My name is Bobby. I'm a freshman. I'm currently declared as physics.
Cool.
My name is Spencer. I'm a junior. I'm studying computer science and astronomy.
My name is Krishna. I'm Western.
My name is Lenore. I'm next to
My name is Jake. I graduated in May with astronomy physics degree, and now I'm a staff member across the street at the College of Science.
I'm Bree. I'm a junior in astronomy physics. I'm Allison. I'm a sophomore. I'm studying astronomy physics.
I'm Yancey, and I graduated from I'm assistant professor here in the department.
I'm Joel. I'm studying here at Astronomy Club, and I am an aerospace and engineering major in business.
So anybody else have?
I think I'm Blythe. If you haven't met me, I'm the club treasurer. Benjamin. I'm not a current student, but an alumni of Astronomy Club.
I'm Mandy. I'm a sophomore in astronomy physics.
I'm CG. I'm a sophomore in astronomy physics.
My name is Mike. I'm a sophomore in astronomy physics.
My name is Nicole. I'm a senior in geology and planetary science.
I'm a senior in astronomy physics.
I'm Abram. It's my last semester. I'm a psychology with a minor in history.
I'm Ashley. I'm a freshman. I'm studying policy and evolutionary biology and astronomy physics. I'm Canberra. I'm a senior in astronomy physics.
I'm Allison. I'm a senior in astronomy and physics.
Anybody else?
I'm Angela. I'm a freshman and I'm majoring in environmental science. And I'm Amy. I'm a sophomore and I'm studying Japanese and Korean.
I'm Lindsay. I'm a freshman in astronomy and physics.
Well, welcome everybody to the second Astronomy Club meeting, the first one we're having in this room, and this is going to be the meeting time and location for the rest of the semester. It looks like we get a lot of people this time, so I'm happy about that. And so we'll just kind of jump in and talk about some things that we have coming up. If you're kind of new to this club, one of the things that we do regularly is we do star parties every first Saturday of the month at Sabino Canyon, which is out east a few miles, about halfway between here and Mount Lemmon. And this coming Saturday, in like a few days, is the first Saturday of the month, so we have our star party. Normally we would meet in the Stewart parking lot that's just like out the window down there, but this Saturday there's a football game and we're going to try and avoid all this hectic nature when we're trying to get out of the campus to go to the Sabino Canyon. Try not to run into too much traffic. I'm not sure how effective this will be. It's a new thing we're going to try. We're going to meet in the Park Avenue garage, which I kind of have a map. I don't know if I have a, but so this is we are here, I believe, and so just meet here. Just trying to help everybody that's on campus so we can meet there too. But just meet there. I'll try and get someone around there to kind of point you in the direction that we're actually going to be when we get there. But we're gonna be there at 4:30, and we will provide the telescopes. If you want to bring your own telescope, that's awesome. We welcome it. And so that's what's happening this Saturday. It's always a fun time to talk with lots of people that are really interested in this.
Where do you usually set up your telescope at Stan
We set up in the entrance parking lot. So if you just enter in the welcome area, visitor center, I don't know exactly what it's called, but the entrance area, that's where we have them.
How long do you guys stay out there for?
We stay till about 9:30 or 10, depending on, like, if they're still. It usually goes till like we don't see any more people about that time, and so then we just say, well, we're not going to see any more people. I might have forgotten that this is a public star party that we do for the public. It's a great time for us to get together, but it's also mainly for showing off cool astronomy stuff to random hikers. And we have a few people that have started to attend these regularly that are not part of Astronomy Club. They just come because they know we're going to be there, and that's cool. However, I also like to just kind of hang out as Astronomy Club, so the weekend after that, September 10th, we are going to have our own kind of private star party at Windy Point on Mount Lemmon, and we had done this a couple years ago, and it's really fun because you're getting away from the lights of this, you're getting even further away from the lights of the city, and you're on Mount Lemmon's cool place. And again, we'll provide the same thing about the telescopes. We'll provide the telescopes, but if you have your own and that you want to bring, that'd be great too. And the plan for this one is more that we have a kind of get together at the base of the mountain. We eat dinner, some games, get to know each other before we go up to the mountain, and we can't see each other's faces at nighttime. So that's kind of the plan for that. And more details are going to come out about exactly like where we're going to meet and what time it's going to happen next meeting. Finally, we have another observing opportunity coming up. For those of you who know Dr. Don McCarthy, he has worked with the Astronomy Club before, and he's a really cool professor. And he's taking his NAT students to do eyepiece observing on the 61-inch telescope on Mount Lemmon. And this is a telescope that, if you're an astronomy major, you can use for one of your classes, and it's one that Stewart Observatory owns. And so, and this is one of the more down months because we have monsoons. So he's gotten time to do just eyepiece observing, and that's September 23rd, and he has invited us to come up after the NATS class is done, because the NATS class will be done doing this eyepiece observing at 11 p.m. if I remember right. And I think this is just amazing because I've done it before, and it's real. I mean, the telescopes we're going to be using for these other star parties are like 10-inch telescopes, and those are pretty awesome. And so then we're looking at a 61-inch telescope. Just want to emphasize that's really cool. Not many people have an opportunity like this. Then I'm going to just talk about some logistical stuff. We have a club office, so if you're just hanging around campus and you don't know where to go, you want to do some studying, but you don't want to go to the library, we have our own Astronomy Club office, and it's in the trailer out on this north side of Stewart, so we are, I think, like right here. Yeah. This side. Yeah, we're right here. And so if you go out across around the dome, then this is the trailer, and our office is all the way at the end, and it says Astronomy Club on it. And It's just a nice place to go. It's quiet. And there will be office hours where some of the officers will be there to just kind of be in the office if you want to come. And there will be a schedule on the door, but has not been arranged yet. Anyway, another thing, in order to support all these cool projects and star parties that we do, we request that you pay dues, which is $10 a semester, which is really, it's not that much compared to some other clubs or fraternities. So it kind of provides all these opportunities. Also, we want to know more about you to kind of gauge what this club is doing. So we have a membership form online, which is at this URL, astroclub.edu/membership-form.html. I might have to check if that's the right website, but it's just, we're not like trying to steal your identity or anything. We just want to gauge the club's content. Another logistical thing, we have t-shirts. We bought t-shirts last year. So Blythe, please stand up, please. Okay, I was lucky this is happening. So this is what the t-shirts look like. They say Astronomy Club on the front, and in the back they have like sponsors and stuff like that. But it's really cool to rep Astronomy Club on campus. Now to kind of some things we're looking towards more down the way in this semester. In the past, one of the cool things that I've enjoyed about this club is the Astronomy Question of the Week. This is a thing hosted by Don McCarthy. As I said, he's a really cool astronomy professor here. And he basically would either come to a club meeting or schedule a time for some people in the club where we could meet with him, and he would pose interesting questions about astronomy and nature and just kind of things that aren't really like, you don't have to do a lot of math to a physics problem or something, but just kind of thinking about concepts and using critical thinking skills. Like here, one time we talked about how like looking at the wake of a boat can be used to think about the radius of the Earth, or this is something I just pulled off of when, I forget what his name was, but he measured the radius of the Earth in like 3,000 years ago without, yes, Aristophanes, basically using different shadows and stuff. And that's kind of the question of, okay, using this very limited information, how can you get to some really cool conclusions? Just kind of as a show of hands, do people want to continue doing this? Okay, yes. So I will talk to him and we'll schedule that up. It's going to be really good. Another thing that is, how many of you know about the Flandreau Science Center? A lot of you. They basically asked me to introduce them, saying if you are interested in working at a telescope or a planetarium, they are looking for operators, and so you could volunteer at their little 8-inch telescope they have there for the public, or you could maybe even apply to be a planetarium operator, and that involves being paid. So that's good. And I think Joel has worked there before, and you can ask him about stuff like that. But it's just kind of a cool outreach event we have on campus. Another thing that is kind of happening around campus or around town is Tucson Amateur Astronomy Association has contacted us saying would we be interested in like doing joint events with them? Basically, they're the Tucson Amateur Astronomy Association. They do amateur astronomy. Like they sometimes, if the Nats class wants to do a star party, they go out to some dark site and set up telescopes and stuff like that. So they were kind of wondering if we wanted to work with them to kind of just do joint events. Full disclosure, the average age here is 55. So, I mean, but they're all interested in astronomy, so that's cool. So, is there interest in doing like joint events there? Okay, sounds good. Kind of getting towards the end, but so if you have done research, we would like to hear about it. So if you want to do a presentation about your research in the Astronomy Club, that's what we want to happen, because as we get going in the semester and there's less just news about star parties and all this cool start of semester stuff, meetings will be 10 minutes of me reminding everybody about the star party next week, and then that'll be it. But I really want to have people presenting their research, because that really adds a cool aspect to the Astronomy Club. So it kind of shows you all these undergrads that we have doing research, or some grad students. And that's so. In the past, I know this is a picture of Canberra's presentation. I've done one. Jake has done one. Blythe has done one. And they can tell you that it's a good experience because then later on you're going to have to do presentations for your thesis and stuff, and it's just a cool place to start where they aren't doing it for your job or anything. It's kind of a nice atmosphere, and it's great to hear about your research.
Are you interested in research like on your own, like not affiliated with schools?
Sure. I mean, basically any type of astronomy research we want to hear about. And then to kind of wrap up and talk about what's going on for the rest of the semester. And then we have a lot of projects that are going on. First, we have an exoplanet project where we've observed extrasolar planets, TRES 3b and TRES 4b, and we're doing a lot of analysis and of those observations. And one of the great things about this project is it introduces you to a program called IRAF, which is a very annoying astronomy program. But if you get introduced to it earlier on, it can be useful for when you have classes on it later on. And those of you that have done the exoplanet project will testify that it's been useful to just have that extra IRAF practice. And the person in charge of this is our very own Jake Turner, of kinds of planetary fame. And this is his email address, turner@email.arizona.edu. So if you want to get involved, you can contact that email address or talk to him. Right now, he's saying if we could meetings at Tuesdays at 5:30. Is there any objection to that?
Well, I might have something, but when you come to my
You can just talk to Jake afterwards. Also, right now when we do star parties, we just bring scopes that Stewart owns. We would like to be able to bring our own telescope, so we started working on a binocular telescope, which is basically two Dobsonian telescopes hooked together. And we have acquired mirrors, we have acquired secondary mirrors. There's going to be two 10-inch mirrors. That's really cool. So the person in charge of that is Blythe Gubinin over there, and So if you're interested, talk to him. And right now the meetings are at 4:30 at
That's
Wednesday.
from last semester. I talked to everyone that's currently on the committee, and that we decided on Tuesdays at 5:30 actually for that.
Oh,
So either
okay.
we can
Okay.
we'll have to go with one or the
Well,
other. We'll have the same meeting invitation for both periods.
Okay. Well, yeah, when you guys figure that out, I'll just send it over to the listserv. Finally, one of the things that we like to do is a lot of outreach, like the star parties, and we've gone to Biosphere 2 in the past, and done outreach there, and so we have to have some kind of materials to bring there and kind of demonstrate the concepts. And so if you're interested in help making those outreach events materials, contact Katie Johnson. She is a scheduling conflict now, but this is her email. So if you are interested in that, contact her. Finally, cool thing for this semester is the Astronomy Club radio project. We have done a radio project in the past with Dr. Nancy Shirley, and it was a great success, and so we're going to be working on it some more. So without further ado, Dr. Nancy Shirley.